Alright, what's up everybody? Mr. Nunley back again with another exciting adventure in math. So, we are going to be continuing converting and comparing units, except this time we are going to be dealing with capacity. So, we're going to be talking about gallons, cups, quarts, pints, all of that fun stuff, and of course ounces. So, whenever we do that, we need to remember from last year our good friend King Gallon. So we can go ahead and draw it out like this if you don't remember, because you start off, you have a G for gallon. I'm going to trim that. Oh, I just killed the G. My king, I'm sorry. Try that again. You've got 1 gallon. And inside of a gallon, make it a wee bit bigger, you have 4 quarts. Inside of each of those quarts, you have 2 pints. So that means in 1 gallon, you have 2, 4, 6, 8 pints. Inside of each of those pints, you also have 2 cups. And then I'm not going to draw the C's so large that I can do this, but you also have another unit, and that is ounces. So you see this one I did not include in King Gallon. I don't think you all did last year either, but you have 8 ounces in 1 cup. So for each of those cups, you're also going to have 8 ounces. And you can kind of look at the letter and see which ones are bigger. And most of you probably already know already. It goes gallon, quart, pint, cup, and then ounces. And that's important because just like yesterday, whenever you're moving from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, like if we're going from gallons to quarts, then you would multiply. And if you're going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, then you would divide. And then this chart, as well as the chart on your next page, will show you what numbers you're going to be multiplying and dividing by. So let's take a look. Right now it says Mara has a can of paint with 3 cups of purple paint in it. She also has a bucket that can hold, or it has a capacity, that just means can hold 26 ounces. Will the bucket hold all of the paint that Mara has? So, like we said, we know that 1 cup equals 8 ounces. We always, whenever we are comparing units, have to have the same unit. And it's much easier to take your bigger units, like cups, and convert them into smaller units, like ounces. That way we're multiplying. That's always going to be easier than dividing. So, since there are 8 ounces in 1 cup, and there were 3 cups, we can multiply 3 by 8. And that gives us 24 ounces. And now that we have the same unit, we can compare these things. It says she has a bucket with a capacity of 26 ounces. Will the bucket hold all the paint she has? Well, 26 is greater than 24, so yes, Mara's bucket can hold all of the paint. And down here at the bottom, it's the same thing, just with different numbers. What if Mara has 7 cups of green paint and a container filled with 64 ounces of yellow paint? Which color paint does she have more of? Well, ounces is the smaller one here, so we're going to keep that. We've got 64 ounces of yellow paint. We've got 7 cups of green. So let's turn our cups into ounces. And again, there's 8 ounces in a cup. So 8 times however many cups we have. 7 in this case, 56 ounces. So 64 is obviously bigger than 56, so we are going to say more yellow paint. Pretty easy. And if you're ever not sure, like I said, King Gallon is a great way to help you memorize these things. And you also have a chart over here on your next page that tells you all of that same information. So let's just keep on working. I think you guys got this yesterday. It's really the same thing, just using different numbers. So Coral made 32 pints of fruit punch for a party. She needs to carry the punch in 1-gallon containers. How many containers is she going to need? So there's a couple different ways we could do this. We could change those pints into gallons, or we could change the gallons into pints. A lot of times it's easier to take that bigger unit, the gallon, and turn it into a pint. But in this instance, we're trying to carry it in 1-gallon containers. So let's see how many gallons we're going to have if we have 32 pints. So here's how we can do that. To convert pints to gallons. Well, first, let's change it to quarts, because quarts is the next biggest unit. So, and we can look at King Gallon to get a reminder of that. So we have 32 pints. We can't just go straight from pints to gallon. We don't know that, but we do know that pint to quart is 2 pints. Since we're getting to a bigger unit, we can divide. We've got 16 quarts. So now, divide that by 2 equals 16 quarts. Now we can see how many quarts are in a gallon. Whenever you're converting these, it's best to go just one at a time. So whether you're moving up or down this little ladder, you need to go one at a time. And if you are moving down, like from a cup to a pint, pint to a quart, all of that, your unit gets bigger, so you need to divide. If you're moving up, your unit gets smaller, so you need to multiply. So since we're moving down from a quart to a gallon, we are dividing by how much? Well, there's 4 quarts in a gallon, so divide by 4. That will give you 4 gallons. So that means she needs 4 1-gallon containers to carry the punch. So King Gallon will help you memorize it. If you don't have it memorized, just use this little chart over here of customary units of capacity. And that's what we can do. So use the picture to complete the statements and convert 3 quarts to pints. So we're starting off here, and we're going 2 pints. Since we're moving up, we're going to multiply. So 1 quart equals 2 pints, it says in our chart. 1 quart is less than 1 quart is greater than 1 pint. So since there's 3 quarts and a quart is equal to 2 pints, then we just do 3 times 2. That gives us 6. So that means that you have 3 quarts, and that is going to be 6 pints. And I will show you these as well. We're going gallons to pints. Well, looks like to go from gallon to pint, we have to go 2 spaces. So first we need to change our gallons to quarts. We have 3 gallons. We're moving up, so we're multiplying, and there's 4 quarts in a gallon. So that means we have 12 quarts. Now 12 quarts. We're moving up again, so we're multiplying. Our chart says there are 2 pints in a quart, so we multiply by 2, and that gives us 24 pints. 5 quarts to a pint, you say? Well, we just saw quarts are bigger than pints, and there's 2 pints in a quart. So 5 quarts times 2 equals 10. And now we are going quarts to cups. So again, we're moving up our chart. So we're going to be multiplying. We're moving 2 spaces. We're going to have to go, getting crazy. We're going to have to multiply first and get our quarts into, oh wait, we're just going cups, never mind. Excuse me, we're going to have to multiply and get our quarts to pints. So we have 6 quarts times 2, because there's 2 pints in a quart, as you can see up there. And that gives us 12 pints. So now we have 12 pints. And there is 2 cups in a pint, so 12 times 2 gives you 24 cups. Alright, so use that chart. What I want you to do, I want you to do numbers 5 through 7. Go ahead and work those out for me, and then you can check. Alright, so let's see how you did. So you are going to be moving down the chart. As you can see, you're going from cups to pints. So there are 2 cups in a pint, so we divided by 2, got 19. Same thing for numbers 6 and 7. Divide 36 by 4 to get 9, 104 by 8 to get 13. I bet we've got that down pretty well. But let's check out these next few. What I'm going to do, I'm going to work out 8 and 9 for you all. And I'm also going to work out 14 and 15, and I'll let you all do the rest. So for number 8, we have 200 cups and we're going to quarts. So let's be safe about this. We've got cups, we're going to quarts. So that's 2 jumps, 1, 2. Let's go ahead and let's just do it one at a time. There are 2 cups in a pint and then 2 pints in a quart. So 200 divided by 2 equals 100. 100 is what we've got in pints. So we divide that again by 2 to get quarts, and we get 50. Same thing with number 9, except we've got a little bit harder math to do here. Number 9, we're going from pints to fluid ounces. We are moving up the chart. So that means we are going to need to multiply. So there are 2 pints in a cup, so times 2 gives us 44. And then there are 8 ounces in a cup. So let's multiply that by 8. And that will give us 352. So there may be a couple steps. I know you want to just meld them together and do it all at once. I promise it's a lot easier if you just do one step at a time. Take it easy, don't make mistakes. So let's check out numbers 14 and 15. Whenever you're comparing two like this, what I would really recommend you do is you take the bigger unit and turn it into a smaller unit. So in this case, we've got cups. And if you go up here, cup to pint, there's 2 cups in a pint. So 28 divided by 2 equals 14. Looks like we are equal today, brother. And tell you what, I'll do one that's a little bit more challenging. We'll do number 18. We're going fluid ounces and pints. So pints are going to be bigger than fluid ounces. And we are going from pints, we're going to cups, and then we're going to fluid ounces. So we have 18 times 2 so that we can get cups. There's 36 cups. And then 36 times 8. So 36 times 8, that is going to give us 288. 288 ounces, which means 320 is going to be bigger. So, don't want you to worry about number 20. Not concerned with that. I do want you to give 21 a shot, and then we will come back together and check. Alright gang, let's see how you did. So for number 10, and I put all the work out here on the side for those, it was 8 gallons. We know that there's 4 quarts in a gallon. We're moving to a smaller unit, multiply by 4, 32. Same thing as what we've been doing, gang. You've got it. Number 11, we got 9, 12, 16, and 13, 6. And there's my work for all of that. And what you'll notice is for a lot of these, if I use more than one step, I made sure I put my units down, and putting those units down is very, very important to make sure you don't get confused. So let's check out the rest of these. Number 16, I had to convert my quarts, 20 quarts, into pints first, so I multiplied by 2. And then I multiplied those 40 pints by 2 to get 80. And you may be noticing a pattern here. Pretty much every single measurement is going to be 2 if they're next to each other, except for there's 8 ounces in a cup and there's 4 quarts in a gallon. Because there's going to be 2 cups in a pint, there's going to be 2 pints in a quart. So 2 is a pretty easy one to remember. So let's keep on moving over. A little mini rant over there. Number 17, we know that there's 4 quarts in a gallon, 48 smaller than 50. And you all can see the work that I've done for these two. So take a look at that and make sure that we are getting those right answers. If not, take a look at my work and see where you might have made a mistake. Now moving on to the bottom, we got 32 cups, and here's why. Larry made 4 batches of punch. That's why at the end I multiplied my answer by 4, but we'll get into that later. Each batch uses 16 fluid ounces, so 16 ounces, and 3 pints of orange juice. So we're trying to figure out how many cups that is going to be. Well, first we need to change our ounces and our pints into cups. 16 divided by 8 gives you 2. 3 pints times 2 gives you 6 cups. And I added those together because that's how much it is for each batch. Each batch uses that amount. And then, woo, golly, each batch uses that amount. Sorry about that. Because of that, I just added those together. And then since we made 4 batches, I multiplied that by 4. So you're going to need 32 cups or 32 servings. So for number 22 and number 23, what that's going to show you is something I already showed you, is that both quarts and pints, and that pints and cups have the relationship of 2. There's 2 cups in a pint, 2 pints in a quart. That's what that will help you out with. So number 25, let's take a look at this and let's work this out together. And I'll give you all a chance to kind of work it out on your own as well, along with me. So Shelby made 5 quarts of juice for a picnic, and she said that she made 1 1/4 cups of juice. So let's see what she did wrong here. We have 5 quarts. Well, we should be able to tell pretty quickly. Quarts are definitely bigger than cups. So the fact that she went from 5 quarts to 1 cup means that she did something wrong. And I know that you big brains out there probably already thought, well, she probably divided. And that's actually exactly what she did. So let's see how many cups she actually has. So go ahead and figure that out for me. How many cups does she actually have? Alright, and hopefully we got 20 cups is what she is going to be working with. Shelby is working with 20 cups of juice. She divided, and you see if you divide 5 divided by 2, you're going to actually get 2 1/2. And then if you divide 2 1/2, you'll get 1 1/4. So she definitely divided. Shelby, amateur mistake, honey. Take a look at this chart, Shelby. You're moving down if you divide. We didn't move down. We're moving up, girl. That's why we multiplied. And I know that you all won't make that same mistake as little brain Shelby, because y'all are big brain. So go ahead and flex that big brain and get this lesson done. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And as always, I hope you're doing well. I miss you all. Keep it 212. Mr. Nunley out.